Welcome to the Fantasy Football Hug It Out League Pick'ems of the Week. We're going to take a look at the matchups, the players, and the teams head to head, and let's see the outcome. We're going to get right into it right now. First matchup is between Sergio and Mark. Two teams, one of them not having such a good year so far. Mark, he's looking alright, you know, he's tied second in his division. He has a 4-3 record. But the thing here, Mark, he's got Tom Brady. Mark has the Patriots defense. Excuse me, does not have the Patriots defense, but has Tom Brady, who has put up a lot of points for him. He's the #1 quarterback ranked, and he is on a bye this week. Sergio, Drew Brees, puts up points every single week. Mike Bell is going to put up points this week for the Saints. That's the bottom line. LT, has been having a down year, not the same years he's been having in the past. He's got Johnny Knox, who, could be an impact player every week. He's been doing well. Has turned into, a touchdown favorite for Jay Cutler and the Bears. He's got that Giants defense. Yes, they're going up against the Eagles offense, but they still make noise. Mark, Tom Brady, Richard Mendenhall, bye. Dwayne Bowe, bye. And he's got some big point scorers for his team that are on a bye this week. Sergio's 1-6. Sergio, after this week, will be 2-6. Mark, sorry, but you're getting the loss this week. Let's go on to our next matchup. Andrew versus my man from Alaska, Colin. Both have solid quarterbacks. Matt Schaub is just doing work. Philip Rivers just doing work. This is what these two guys do. They throw a lot of passes, they throw for a lot of yards, they throw for a lot of touchdowns. Andrew's still got Leon Washington in his lineup. I'm sure he's going to change that. He's got Marshawn Lynch. Kelvin Johnson, questionable. Andre Johnson, questionable. He's got TJ, who's going to do his thing. He's got Mario Manningham, who has to fight for the ball with those other good receivers. Hakeem Nicks, Steve Smith stepping up for the Giants. We'll have to see how that goes. But Colin has Cedric Benson on a bye, has Kristowski on a bye, still has Reggie Wayne, still has Antonio Gates, still has players that can make plays. This week, between the matchup of Andrew and Colin, this is a tough one, but I'm going with Andrew. Andrew, you're going to win this week, bump your record up to 4-4, bump Colin down to 4-4. Colin, I'm sorry. Big shout out to Alaska, but you're losing this week. Let's go on to our next matchup. Alex versus Mrs. S. Son versus mom. Let's see how it's going to turn out for the two of them. Alex, 5-2. Mrs. Safen, 3-4. Aaron Rodgers, if he gets time to pass the ball, his front five, who have not blocked very well for him this year, block for him. It can look good for Alex. Aaron Rodgers will put up big numbers. But Tony Romo, who at the beginning of this season was criticized by many people, has stepped up the last couple games. He's found a go-to receiver for now in Miles Austin. Mrs. Safen also just made a blockbuster trade, getting Deshaun Jackson and Clinton Portis. Clinton Portis is going to do stuff. Might have a touchdown here and there, but Deshaun Jackson is legit. He's a legit wide receiver. Scores touchdowns, scores big point touchdowns, 50-plus yard touchdowns. That is what you got to look for when you're looking for this. But on the other hand, from top to bottom, Alex's team is solid. Aaron Rodgers, Steve Slane, Ryan Brown, Marcus Colston, Hines Ward. It's just, Hines Ward has a bye this week though, so you got to look at that. He'll have to get someone in his lineup to step up. Donnie Avery, who's probable. Makes a play here and there, but then he's on the Rams, so that's kind of a bad pick. Owen Daniels, Roddy White, Greg Jennings. If the wide receivers can step up for Mrs. S team this week, Thomas Jones does work every week. Mrs. S is going to win. She's going to win this week, move her record to 4-4, move Alex down. He's #1 power ranked team, but I have a feeling he's going to be falling this week. 5-3. Alex, throw it in the bag. Mrs. S, you are winning this week. Next matchup is none other than myself, Bird, versus Nick. Both teams have good stuff going. Steven Jackson is playing the Detroit Lions this week. That is 120 yards and a touchdown guaranteed. That's what's going to happen. 120 yards, touchdown guaranteed. Chris Johnson, coming off the bye, the Titans, I like them this week. Chris Johnson's going to allow work. He's going to make plays. Brandon Edwards going up against the Miami Dolphins defense again. His first game with the Jets was against the Dolphins. He had a touchdown, a lot of targets, a lot of balls thrown his way. Steve Smith looking to make plays this week. Hasn't really gotten into the groove like he did earlier in the year with Eli Manning. And the Bears are playing the Browns. The Bears defense, they need to score touchdowns on defense. They need to get special teams returns all the way to the house to get them points. He's got Adrian Peterson, the #1 running back. He's got Frank Gore, who's a solid running back. Lawrence Maroney in his lineup. He's on a bye. Wes Welker on a bye. Patriots defense on a bye. With all the byes that Nick has this week, is the only reason I'm picking myself to win. Now, if he had Wes Welker, if he had the Patriots defense, I would be picking him. But I'm going with myself this week. Nick, sorry, buddy, but this is not your week. So that's Bird going with me. Now we come down to the matchup of the week. This is the matchup, the game to tune into, the game to watch in fantasy football. And it's versus Benji Safin and Gerardo. Benji, Gerardo, these two going head-to-head this week. We got a leader in the division, second place in the division, going at it. He's got Eli Manning. He's got Marion Barber. Matt Forte, who has not had a very good year. Ray Rice, who does work. Larry Fitz. Nate Burleson. He's got players that make plays. Gerardo will rely on Peyton Manning, who will be Peyton Manning this week, will throw for 300 yards, will throw for 2+ touchdowns. He's got D'Angelo Williams. Panthers are not a good team, but they rely on D'Angelo. And D'Angelo is going to get the yards. He's going to get the touchdowns. He's also got breakout of the year, Miles Austin. Miles Austin is making plays. Tony Romo trusts him. They go down the field with him. He's had over 150 yards 2 straight weeks. He's had touchdowns 2 straight weeks. This is a hard game. This was a really hard game to pick. But I have a feeling that the players are going to step up and make the plays for JJ this week. Gerardo is going to get it done. His players, Peyton Manning is going to score a whole bunch of points. D'Angelo Williams is going to score a whole bunch of points. Brandon Jacobs is going to put points up on the board. I'm going with JJ this week. Benji, you are going to lose this week. That's all I got to say. So here's our winners for this week. Matchup of the week. Gerardo. I got me winning. Mrs. S putting a W on the board. Andrew putting a W on the board. And Sergio, who's going to move from 1-6 to 2-6. Sergio, this is a must-win week for you. You've got to put up a win. You got to do it. Notre Dame playing Saturday. Bears playing Sunday. This is a fantasy football Hug It Out League matchup breakdown. I just broke it down for you. Tune in next week. Check out the power rankings. Check out everything we got for you. This is Mike. I'm out of here. Thanks for joining us. Peace.